Very well, welcome back to KBC News Check, and many thanks for keeping me company. On the second hour, we are looking at the drought situation in the country. More than half of the counties in Kenya, the rains have failed. And the worst thing is that since 1981, many people had not been born, but since 1981, this is the worst drought, about 45 years we're talking about. And this time around, it's no different. The rains, the October rains did fail, and the situation is a bit tricky when it comes to the northern part of Kenya. What exactly is happening? The government talking about 6 billion shillings earmarked for ensuring that every Kenyan has something to eat. But what is the ground saying? Allow me now to very quickly rope in Professor Honorable Omar Mohamed. Mohamed is the immediate former Wajir South MP. Karibu sana mheshimiwa. Asante sana ndugu yangu. And to be honest, I did listen to my good friend, the CS Geoffrey Roko, yesterday talk about 6 billion has been earmarked for ensuring that counties that face installation, and especially in the northern region, which is a little bit hard hit, have enough to eat. What is the situation, especially in the northern part of Kenya, especially Wajir? Thank you very much, my brother. The situation is quite dire. It is quite dire, and this is serious. I came back on Sunday from Garissa, and the circumstances that has led to this challenge now is lack of rain, because the rains have failed several years. It has not only failed this time. People are talking about October to December, but that is not when the rains have failed. If you can remember, the rains have failed in 2023. It has failed in and then there was the floods. And then that floods has swept everything, even the seeds of the grass in the bush and all that. And then eventually that has gone to a level where now there are not enough pasture. There is not enough water. The water has run off, down the water wheels and the likes. So looking at that, the situation is getting dire right now. Animals have started to die now, although some other counties are different to others. There are about 23 counties that are being said that are in critical situation. And more of that, there is the emergency situation of about 2-3 other counties, like Mandera and part of Turkana and Marsabit. It is getting serious towards Wajir now. And you see nomadic pastoralists move from one place to another in search of the pasture and the water. And the pasture and the water that they're looking for is not there anymore. And therefore, there's overcrowding that happens. That overcrowding with the hooves of the animals, it also makes it more serious even when rains come. So at this particular stage, to answer your question, is the situation is quite dire. It's getting serious. I'm looking at what we are reporting as the media, what the government is reporting, and the real situation on the ground. What is needed urgently? Is it water? Is it food? Is it a combination of both? Is it medication? Combination of all. And let me tell you this, there is a challenge that I come from the medical background, and what is going to happen now is malnutrition is almost beginning. And there are many circumstances where we will find that it is, God forbid, it's likely that many children will go in malnourishment. They may either die because of malnourishment, or they may become stunted growth. There's what we call stunted growth when vitamins and vital food nutrients are not there in food, or there is not enough food. There's stunted growth that does happen. The other cohort that may be even affected are the pregnant mothers and the likes. So because there's lack of milk, meat, and any other diet that they are used to, these communities, because those are the two major diets that they're used to. We give them relief for rice and beans. While it is important, the actual thing that gives very good iron is meat. Definitely, that's what we know. Of course, to some extent, beans cover, but that is not enough for a pregnant mother, or for a baby, or for a child. Even a lactating mother. Or a lactating mother, that is. So there will be no enough production of milk for the baby. So that is happening. The other thing that is happening is that the animals are dying, and therefore there is not enough stock to sell to go and buy vital medicines, for instance, or take anybody to medical facilities, or even mothers who want to, go and have their babies will not be able to even trek forward or travel. So these are some of the issues that are arising. The other thing that is arising is that with the cost of the drought, the travels of people is not going to be easy because they have to go and look after their, animals. They have to take the kids and the families to the village so that they can go and get something. There will be no further movements in terms of looking for pasture because there is nowhere in where pasture is available or water. Therefore, these are some of the things that are arising right now and people are mentioning. So it's a combination of lack of water, combination of lack of pasture, combination of lack of food and medicines, and then there is outbreak of diseases that does happen. Marasmus, kwashiorkor, all these are malnutrition-based diseases that happens to children. And so that is where we are right at this stage. We are towards that, let me say. And therefore, the situation is dire.
6
Nothing
billion.
else to say.
6 billion has been earmarked. You have been a member of parliament, and you have to appropriate for this money in parliament, and you know exactly what people want in Wajir. Is this money enough? And is it getting? You said you were in Wajir the day before yesterday.
No, I was in Garissa, so
Garissa.
Just close to Wajir,
Yes.
on the border there.
Is that money, is that food, is that water getting to the right people?
You see, the 6 billion being talked about is not 6 billion that's been dispersed today. This is from August last year. We have to bear that in mind. And that 6 billion is not necessarily something that is, making a quick change. It is not a quick antidote of drought and famine and challenges of the sort. It is something that gradually provides. Transportation is included, logistics are included, many other logistics, administrative costs, and all these other things are also included into that. While there is a trial that is happening, that's not going to be enough. For 23 counties that are in dire challenge, bear in mind, even transportation of that food takes days. It's not going to be happening overnight. And therefore, these are some of the things that we need to look at. Why are we having this challenge in this part of the country every year in, year out? Although since 1981, the drought has been, a bit better. But drought has been happening. Animals died in 2023. In 2018, animals died. In 2017, we were getting towards drought as well. So we don't need to look at the 6 billion as an antidote, an immediate antidote that can make a relief for communities. And it's a drop in the ocean, 6 billion. We want the government to put more efforts, to put more money, to put more boots on the ground in terms of assisting disasters like this. You see, preparedness is more important than firefighting. So you don't wait until your house is burnt. You learn to know where your exit is. Yeah. You learn to, you plan for, what you can mitigate that fire and how you can put it off. Therefore, because of that, we need this government, a very able government I see, can do more efforts to ensure that these counties and communities are actually attended to. So that is where we are at this particular stage. So 6 billion is since August.
From what you say, it seems that it should be declared a national disaster, because what happens is that we will get more resources and we will refocus as a country our energies and our resources towards mitigating this drought.
Absolutely, it should be a national disaster. It should be called an emergency. It should be called an emergency as a national disaster, simply because we're not going to wait further because of the predictions. Look at the meteorological planning, the meteorological predictions. You see, there is what we call mathematical modeling. In mathematical modeling, you calculate the temperatures of the past years and of the current ones that is going to be expected, the lack of rains, how it's going to go. You see, we know today if it doesn't rain, we know the temperature that's going to happen tomorrow if it doesn't rain as well. So we can predict that, saying that because of the moisture and the absorption, in the atmospheric absorption, in other words, is the thing that predictability brings about. And therefore, it's already predicted that we may not even get rain up to May. You see that? And how many months are those? How many weeks are those, in other words, if you can calculate in weeks terms? So that's almost half a year. Half a year lack of rain with that scorching sun. What do you expect? You expect more deaths of animals, you expect more malnourishment, you expect more, even bushfires may occur because of the heat. Let me give you a quick example of what's happening currently in Australia. There is a fire disaster that's happening. As of this morning, the fires are being put off on farmers.
The wildfire.
Are losing, yes, wildfires. Animals are being lost. So what did the rest of the community do? Not the country, not the nation. What did the rest of the countries do? What did the rest of the population do? Or countrymen and women? They collected hay from the other side of the country. They collected hay free of charge. They collected food. They collected firefighting equipment. They took volunteers. Why is not that happening? I'll take you back in 2012. 2012, what happened was Kenyans for Kenyans. You remember that?
I do remember.
I was part of the people who got involved, and I got engaged. I brought 300 tons of food and medicines from Australia. I was a professor there. Yeah, I was a lecturer at the University of Sydney at the time, so before I reached to the level of professorship from there on. But what we did, we collected all this food stock and brought that. It's in records. It's in records. The data is available. So what we did is we collected and went into the bush. We volunteered. We took many students from Nairobi University, from Kenyatta University, from many places. Anyway, we took volunteers and we served these communities. And remember, the disaster was not as terrible as is looming right now, because since 1981 to date, the drought that is happening now did not happen. Therefore, in 2012, it was not as serious as today. And people are looking the other side. We need to get serious. And that is how, communities come together. So what I was only trying to infer is that the bushfires and the challenges and the droughts that's happening in Western Australia is being supported and mitigated and given assistance by the rest of the communities. So I want to challenge not only the government, I want to challenge other Kenyans to go and support such kind of droughts, and this is happening. There are farmers who have got lots of hay in their stocks. They can give us a volunteer. They can drop away that to support communities. But coming back to the government's role and responsibility, the government's roles and responsibility is to take care. Article 2, Article 3, Article 7, all these talks about the rights of the citizen, or the citizenry, in other words. And these are the basics for human support. The small Niagara money is not going to be enough. 6 billion will not be enough. Let's be frank. We need more than that. And we need boots on the ground. We need medicines. We need food. We need even medicines for the animals that are dying currently. We need vitamins. We need hay stocks. We want to be supporting community like that. I'll tell you more about the other mitigations that is important.
And indeed, that actually was supposed to be my next question, which is a silver bullet that does away with these issues. Because just like you've pointed out, the United Nations did a survey, and they discovered that the hottest 10 years in history have been the last 10 years.
Yes.
And the hottest year in history has been last year.
Yes.
So, and we cannot predict and say now we have to change everything and do ABCD. But we have the drought with us since 1981. Case in point is Wajir. And it's a good thing that you've mentioned you brought about 3 tons from Australia to try and, mitigate 300. That. 300 tons. I'm looking at a silver bullet in the form of water pans, dams. I did hear, do you believe there is enough goodwill, even from leaders like you, to ensure that we are done away with this problem for good? Because let's be honest, if at all we continue with the handout, we won't be able to continue if we are having the hottest year each and every year.
Let me tell you, there is no silver bullet. There is no silver bullet for challenges like this, for dealing with drought. But what comes
dams, water ponds?
Let me come to the point. Dams and water ponds. Why do we rush when the drought is there? Why do we do them when the drought is there? Why don't we do them before the rains? Why don't we plan and mitigate for that? You see, there's what we call STAR, Strategic Toolkit Assessment for Risks. Have you heard of that? I used that for WHO in Asia Pacific when I was working for the World Health Organization sometimes back in 2014, 2015, and also 2009, around those areas. So the disasters that used to happen there are tsunamis. The disasters that used to happen there are things to do with what we call tornadoes and the likes. So what we used to do is to plan for, in the medical field that is, we were not dealing with the other. So you deal with a number of things and plan for a number of things. So you use the toolkit that is called Strategic Toolkit Assessment for Risks. That is STAR. Now here you assess the risks of various things. It is not only about the issue of giving food alone. It is about even communication risks. It is about the communication on the ground that is happening to tell you that these are the number of villages that are in disaster. These are the number of villages that are more dire than the other villages. These are the villages that do not have boreholes close by or up to 20 or 30 kilometers away. And therefore trekking for it is also another challenge with the heat of the day.
Yeah.
So you must have that strategic planning in the sense that you say, we are predicting in the next 5 years to have X number of droughts, X number of torrential rains, for example. We need to have water catchments, you see, water ponds and the likes.
Yeah.
Do not run with water ponds when the drought is there, my friend. Where is the water you're going to put there? Why don't you use that money, first of all, to rescue others, to rescue population, to rescue babies, you know, from malnutrition, to rescue, provide them food, provide them, you know, milk, you know, fortified milk, provide them, you know, other nutritious foods, you know, to lactating mothers and mothers that are pregnant. Give them to the elderly, even men who are elderly, you see, they need support. So provide that for now. We cannot use ponds as a band-aid, you know, or a bandage as Kenyans call it, but band-aid is what is used as a term internationally. So you cannot use ponds and boreholes at that particular. Of course, borehole is very important. You use it, you do it. You rather use more boreholes to start with. And
even
then
dams.
Yeah, dams and all that you organize in advance. You don't organize during the drought at that particular time. So there's mitigation of risks. Use ponds as mitigations of risks so that you have planned forward and say that there will be torrential rains. Now the expectation that when the land is dry and the sand has gone, there's a huge downpour that happens. And that huge downpour requires what? A place where that water can go in. So what you do is you don't wait during the drought at that particular time. If you have got a small amount of money change in your pocket and you want to travel home, suppose you feel like you want to have a cigarette somewhere. Will you first of all go for travel or you go for the cigarette first? So get yourself home first, isn't it?
Yeah,
so let's get ourselves home. Let's save our children and needy. And then we do this and plan on a long-term basis. That's my position. Dams are very good, boreholes are very good, and all that. In fact, boreholes should be done more frequently at this particular time right now so that, you know, water is gotten straight away to closer to the village. But plan for these other bigger projects when you are almost, you know, getting through and you have saved a sufficient number of, or many people, you know, many children.
Prof, you're a leader from the northeastern part of Kenya, and you know very well how scarce and how valuable water is. And we have seen issues where we have conflict because of the meager resources that we have.
Yes.
How has it been, especially now that we are really in the drought?
Look, the nomadic pastoralists are very resilient people. They know that today, if I put conflict on you and you have come to my village or village X that I live in, for instance, I know I'm going to need village Y tomorrow because it might rain on your side. And therefore, if I pinch you now, you will pinch me harder tomorrow because I have not allowed you onto this. So, first of all, they're quite resilient. These are communities that understand this, and they have lived on such circumstance for many, many years. Now, having said that, conflicts do occur. There are a few skirmishes, beatings and a few things of that sort. But it has not been to a situation where war occurs because of scarcity of water and pasture in that place. They are quite resilient, ideally. It would have been reported by the State Department of Security. I mean, they would have said that, there is risk for these conflicts and all that. While risks may occur, or challenges may occur, and conflicts may occur, it is limited. It is quite limited. And therefore, we have not seen a situation where people have taken arms and gone to fight over the meager amount of water and pasture. So it is not an issue that is over and above the animal death that's happening.
And owing to the distance, you can find a house 30 kilometers, 50 kilometers away.
Yes.
Owing to the logistical issues that, of course, are there in the northeastern part, very vast lands, is the help getting to where it should be getting to?
Let me say something. It is not yet Uhuru in northern Kenya. 80% of the landmass of Kenya are the northern region, including Turkana, Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, even Lamu. These are the northern region, you see. So let me be frank with you. If you are having 2,000 kilometers or 4,000 kilometers of tarmac road here, around here, and you have got none in the northern region, tell me about it.
You're talking about Wajir?
I'm talking about northern region, up to Mandera. I'm talking about. That's where I was born. I was born in Wajir. I was born in Habaswein. And my travel to get to Habaswein is a challenge.
But
I can't get there.
From Misiolo to Marsabit, at least the infrastructure
there is only one road that is there. In fact, that opened the northern corridor towards Ethiopia, and that was a borderline. That's an A1 class of road that was meant to link between nations. You understand now? Now, here, there is no even link to Somalia even. We would have even taken advantage of that particular aspect of it even. So having said that, where is the bulk of the land? There is no tarmac. In Moyale and Marsabit and North Hor and the likes. I mean, you go interior, there is none. There is nothing. It's only one corridor of road that takes you from one border point to Isiolo. That takes you up to Nairobi, by the way. So you cannot talk about a single aspect of that. And in fact, people are talking about the road from Isiolo to Mandera. Very good idea. And it's a great thing that the president is doing that. And we acknowledge and applaud that he has actually tied his belt tight to ensure that that happens. But having said that, there is still more links required. Now, for instance, one border point, Dadaab, or Dif, or Elwak, or Takaba, or North Hor will not be having tarmacs. You understand? So to link up any other place. And therefore still we will not be able to be having that communication links out there. Now you send 10 trucks of food for emergency. And what is emergency? Is an immediate requirement, isn't it? For support. An ambulance cannot go from Garissa to go up to Dadaab easily. Cannot go from Wajir town to Dif easily, or Gerile, or Qorof Harar, or anywhere else. You understand? Cannot leave Mandera to Elwak easily. So why are we going to say that we're going to satisfy we're going to give emergency relief to people. It's not an emergency relief. It's a relief, yes, but not emergency, because it will not appear on time. And therefore, what I'm only trying to say is some of these challenges that we have are infrastructures, transportation and roads. That is not there. However much we talk about the droughts and its mitigation and the likes, it is historical. It's pre-colonial. It's post-colonial period. These are some of the things. You see, Julius Nyerere one time said, the late Julius Nyerere, the former president of Tanzania, and I always use this quote. I like this quote. He had his socialist issues and the likes, but I'm not going there as a politician up to that. But one thing I liked, he said, while the rest of the world have gone to the moon and returned, we are unable to reach the village. And if we do, we may never return. You know what that means? What that means is the rest of the world have gone to the moon and came back. You know, the Apollo and the likes. When they have gone there and returned, we are unable to get to the village. But if we even get there, we may not return back, because the roads are so bad that your vehicle's tires and everything is gone. Or you may be stuck in mud, in the sand, and you may never come back. So that quote is very important for us to know. And when did he say this? In early 70s. This is what he was talking about. This is about 50, 60 years ago is what he said. Let alone us having a satellite in the moon ourselves, we cannot get to the village of Div, of Kor of Adrar, of North Horn. We cannot get to those villages. So, and that is Kenya for you, by the way, when others are having 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 tarmac roads, just around. So tell me about that.
And how is the situation of education? Because you'll find even kids are, helping their parents to go and search for water. How is the education standard, especially now that the drought has really crunched?
I am an academic, coming from medical background, but still an academic. And I feel very much for the children of today in the northern region. The children of today do not have what it takes to compete with the rest of the world. Yet we see them coming out with flying colors to some extent. Resilience is the key word. They're quite resilient. These are people that were born resilient. They were born in harsh climates. They are born in circumstances where, they have to deal with terrains, they have to deal with terror, they have to deal with, lack of teachers and resources, educational resources and the likes. Therefore, these are children that are resilient. They are lacking their time in school. They are lacking their time in growing as children, as having sufficient amount of time and opportunities to play. Just play, not even going to school only. Play is part of their growth. And therefore, these are the generation that are quite unlucky in the northern region. Therefore, I see that that is a circumstance that is there. What we need to do is to ensure that we have provided for the rest of it. Schools don't have electricity. That's the other thing I wanted to say. Transport, electricity, that's communication. Transport, electricity, other communication, like even telephone communications. There are many places that do not have telecom communication towers. And therefore, there is this challenge that is compounded, that has resulted in the lagging behind of this region. And therefore, these governments should not only look at roads, they should be looking at other infrastructures, telecommunication infrastructures, electricity. We don't have the national grid in northern Kenya. We don't, in the bulk of that. And there are over 2 million people now are in dire situation. And therefore, is that a small percentage? No. It's a huge percentage. 2 million is too big. And that is just the predictability of those that we were able to, or the government was able to contact. There are many more. There are about 2 other million that have not been contacted, that are living in far-flung regions that do not have any communication networks.
We're talking about since 1981, there hasn't been such a drought. And I'm looking at the pastoralism policy that we have in the country. And you have been a legislator, and you would want to, your region to be one of the best. You know, what we're experiencing each and every year, you know, everything is getting a little bit hotter. The climate itself has changed. Do you think we really need to have a real look at the pastoralism policy and all the laws that govern that as well?
Absolutely. I concur that we have to have a policy. And that policy is not there. Nobody is talking about. And if anybody talks about it, they are shut down. Let me tell you something. Kalahari Desert is a desert. It's a tough desert. It's a tough terrain. It's a tough land. The Bushmen of Southern Africa, I'll not say South Africa because even Namibia is included, Botswana is included, and several other parts, and the South African country. Now, the Kalahari Desert is known to be harsh and critical, given that that is a place that is known to have survived for the millions of years.
Yeah.
We are surviving for the millions of years. That is where we are first. Secondly, is that what are the strategic positions that the government needs to take? The strategic position the government needs to take is not to rush when the challenge is there, is to mitigate, is to have safety nets. And what are these safety nets? Provision of power, electricity, that is, where, you know, where I was born, the home that I was born, there is no electricity still up to today. And the closest that we have is a generator provided electricity. There is no transportation, road networks are not there. It's not that we are trying to get them there, they are not there. And are we going to get them there? Yes, we will do our best to get there as a government, for instance. But if the government gets it there, what they are going to get only is the beginning of it. Another 50 years will take until road networks has reached every part. If it is continued, if that planning is continued on. Third, and that is where you will be able to provide. Third is financial support for nomadic pastoralists. The way the people, you know, who are doing coffee, tea, maize, avocado, and all these, you know, other farmers, the way they are being supported, the livestock farmers are never given any support. And I challenge my friend, a very good friend of mine, the Minister for, or the CS for Agriculture, Honorable Kago. I challenge him to today come out and say that this is what we are planning for the livestock people. Provide that, put that on the table, put that on the budgets, ensure that it is given the same level as that. We are the feeders, the meat feeders of this country.
Yeah.
We provide meat to this country. Why can't we not be given that opportunity? We bring even cash money, you know, hard currency from the Middle East. We export our meat to the Middle East, although there is a challenge in the export because there is no policy in the government that actually supports livestock people. So, you know, this is an issue that is there. And we've been banging the tables, asking for support for this to be done. And unfortunately, 80% of the Kenyan landmass is forgotten, utterly forgotten. Subsequent nations, subsequent governments have forgotten. We are getting a bit of a reprieve because someone who has got a nomadic pastoralist background is at the helm today and trying to see how we can move things. But these are historical challenges that we had, and we really need to do something about it.
And I'm glad that you're doing something as an individual.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to the region to go and provide food relief. And we have already budgeted up for that through my humanitarian support system. So KBC will see that and know that we have also put some food on the table for some people.
Yeah, and of course,
at the level we can.
Even the media, we also need to rope in the media so that we may be able to highlight this and also highlight the plight of not only those who are suffering, but also who are providing the likes of you. Thank you indeed so much, Prof.
The pleasure is mine.
Professor Honorable Omar Mohammed, who is the immediate former Member of Parliament for Wajir South. They are telling us how the situation is, and especially when it comes to the humanitarian aid. And also, as he said, and rightly so, is that we really need to relook at to have a relook at the pastoralism policy here in the country. We also need support, just like tea, coffee, and the avocado farmers in the country. Many thanks indeed for joining us on News Check. Many thanks indeed. My name is Ben Troy Njue, and the sign language interpreter has been Elensa Odingo. I'm now giving the baton to the Swahili desk. I see my colleague Kayaro is ready for Kurunzi and Tamri. Many thanks. Have a good afternoon.